Hello movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to talk about Violent Night. This is going to be our first Christmas episode of the season, and I have to say, typically I will not ever. Well, probably that's more accurate. I don't usually ever agree with critic reviews. I think the majority, if not all, of critics for films and television series nowadays are in the pocket of some studio or in the pocket of, Amazon or whatever the case may be. And so because they get early access, free tickets, yada, yada, I don't find them to be terribly reliable. Typically, they're going to say that something is amazing just so that they can continue to get access to seeing films before, us peons. However, typically, with some exceptions, but typically, I do kind of rely on just general moviegoer reviews to determine whether or not I want to take the time out and go see something, especially if it's something in the theaters. It costs an arm and a leg to go see movies in the theaters now. And I definitely am not the type of person that wants to waste my money or my time, really, going into the theater to see something. Now, when I heard about Violent Night, I thought the premise of it was pretty funny and fun. And then seeing some of the reviews come out of people that have gone and already seen it, I was anticipating a really good time. And much like Wednesday, I will be the odd man out of saying, oh my God, you guys, this was awful. This movie was awful. I don't even know how to explain it. I am questioning whether or not people that have put reviews up have watched the same movie as me. Maybe I fell down and blacked out and I don't know what movie I was watching and compared to the people that were giving this 5-star reviews. What? It's so bad. I will say, I think that David Harbour, who plays Santa Claus in this film, he was the standalone for me of just did an excellent job. I think he was incredible in this. But that being said, I think he was the only one that even was a decent actor in the entire film. I mean, it was horrifying. It was him being standalone, which, I guess made sense. He's Santa Claus. He has special powers and whatever. So it's fair that he should be the only one with any acting talent of any kind. But it made the whole rest of the film a struggle for me to get through. And I'm not even talking they're not great. No. They're terrible. The acting in this film is terrible. On a positive side, I would say the action sequences are actually enjoyable. They're incredibly unrealistic, just unrealistic to the 10th degree. But they are entertaining as hell. They are super entertaining, the action parts. So for that, I feel if you just want a stupid, really stupid movie to watch, if you've got 2 hours to kill and you don't mind, maybe zoning out through the majority of it and just tuning your brain back in when the action sequences are on, I think that's fair. I think it's worth that. But my God, and John Leguizamo is in this, right? He's the head of this villain gang or whatever that's come to rob these rich people. I remember him being a much better actor. Am I misremembering that? I remember him being in quite a few things, maybe when I was younger, and very much enjoying him in those things, or at least thinking that he was decent. And in the last couple of movies that I've seen him in, this one, and then also The Menu, which I did a review for previous to this one, he's awful. I don't know if he just took a break and then is having a hard time hitting his stride coming back into acting. I don't remember seeing much with him in it prior to these 2 movies in a while, and maybe I've just missed some. But yikes. This movie, I heard, And this was what made me like pretty excited about it, is I heard it was kind of a cross of, or if you took like Home Alone and then Die Hard and smushed them together and made a baby, like Violent Night would be it. And I think that that is maybe true of Home Alone. Like, I think the action sequences in Violent Night are that cheesy, corny, unrealistic type stuff that happens in Home Alone, which I feel like was more enjoyable in Home Alone just because it was like a little kid that was doing it and not a whole bunch of adults that you would assume could fight better than all of these people, especially because there's like an entire kill squad, I don't even know, that's in this film that I expected, I don't know, I expected more from a kill squad. We'll just say that. But I really think it's insulting to have compared Die Hard to this film. Like, Die Hard is, we'll do an episode about that one for sure, because it's one of my favorite Christmas movies. Yes, it's a Christmas movie. I will fight you. But Die Hard is actually good. Like, everyone in that is a good actor. The action sequences make sense in context of the film. And this one, not so much. I don't know. It's just not... Yeah, I did not. For the action, like I said, this one was pretty decent. But for the whole rest of the film, I think it was really brutally awful. And there's this little girl in this movie. So the whole thing kind of follows this extremely rich family, right? And it's a couple that is considering getting divorced, and they have a little daughter who I assumed was probably in the 10, 11, 12 range, acts like a 4-year-old the entire way through. Like, she talks like a baby. She still believes in Santa Claus, which, looking at her, I'm like, you are way too old of a child to still believe in Santa Claus and like want to go visit Santa at the mall and, you know, be talking to Santa Claus on a walkie-talkie. Like, it would have made a lot more sense, I think, if the actress or the kid had been maybe much younger than her. I don't know how old this little actress is, but her acting, everybody's acting in this was just not good. And that would make sense. Like, I don't think that there are too many people in this that are bigger name people, at least that I know of. There's nobody that I really super recognize outside of like David Harbour and John Leguizamo. I did remember Beverly D'Angelo, but my goodness, like, she's not even really that great in this. I don't know. Maybe I just prefer like older 80s, 90s movies. So a lot of the stuff now I feel like is trash. I don't know. I am starting to question whether Hollywood has anyone that can decently write a script, because I think that this movie would have been able to hold a candle to Die Hard and like able to be really, really great if the script had been better and if they had actually gone through the trouble of picking some good actors to play the part and like make it make sense, you know, because there are quite a lot of things in this movie that I'm like, that doesn't make sense in terms of what they're doing. Like, John Leguizamo's whole gang, right? He's planned this heist out for months and months, and they're going for $300 million. But with the size of his crew, and then I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but there's some extra people that come into it later in the film. And with the size of both of those together, we are talking about maybe, depending on how they break out the money that they had intended to steal, they're getting like $100,000 a piece, maybe. So is $100,000 worth getting a candy cane through the eyeball from Santa Claus? I say it is not. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I had been hired to do this job, after the first dude met an awful fate, I would have been out. I would have been like, peace, no amount of $100,000 or whatever amount of money you think you're going to get is worth, you know, dying in a horrible way. I don't know. I mean, it made sense, I guess, more in Die Hard than it does in this one for what they're doing, because it's just the one crew and it's not very many people. So, you know, you can justify sort of what they're doing. I don't know. Violent Night, a win for me as far as action-packed sequences, but a total loss for me in terms of the movie as a whole. It's also incredibly long. It's 2 hours, which I feel like would not feel as long if the acting itself was better. But yeah, so I am definitely odd man out on Violent Night. I did not enjoy this one as much as I thought I was going to, but yeah, so those are my thoughts. I would love to hear yours if you've seen this movie. Subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family, and I hope to see you in the next episode.